It's Golden Hour Adventure Time, featuring everyday people doing extraordinary things. From the peaks of victory to the valleys of defeat, these are their stories. Now, from the back of the pack, your hosts, Justin and Robbie.
Hey, welcome to Golden Hour Adventures. I got a shiny forehead. I'm out running in the wind, pushing a sail. That's S-A-I-L. I had to think about it, how to spell that for a second. I'm a runner, so, I don't know how to spell things. Robbie's got a room full of crap laying on the floor because he has 225. Is it 220 or 225?
220.
220. So he's got a 220 miler next weekend, like nothing big. Just a short little race.
It's a whole 6 days long.
6 days long. Guest has a bunch of crap on the ground because she's about to take on a 100 miler in the, how would we call this? Let's say it's the Cocodona.
In the Bradshaw Mountains.
Yeah, I know it's in the Bradshaw Mountains, but I'm saying, like, how do we say the Cocodona under the Cocodona umbrella? There we go.
Yeah.
Because they have like 14 races under Cocodona. Yeah, Cocodona in itself is a franchise. Anyway, welcome to the podcast, Izzy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I met Izzy last year at Javelina, but we had chatted on, social media. She's a marketing genius for like every single running brand out there. So I had chatted with her, quite a bit. And then we met up at Javelina and we became best friends. And then, I was TDY with the military one time and we met up and went on a run / social media content creation adventure.
That's a great way to put it. Yes.
Izzy, I'm interested to see, how did you get into not only running, because everybody has their own unique story in running, and I'd love to hear that too, but like you took it to a different side of thing and you market for every single company that I chat with online. I'm just chatting with you.
Yeah, my undergrad was visual media arts. So it was graphic design, video, and photography. And it was right when analog turned to digital. So I got to do both. So I developed my own film in my bathroom, but yet I had a digital camera and a super fancy, expensive Mac computer, which the student loan paid for.
So in turn, you paid 4 or 5 times.
Exactly.
You're still paying for it.
I was going to say still paying.
And I was highly involved in the skateboarding industry during that time. Girls were just barely starting to skateboard and get noticed. And I actually worked for Tony Hawk during that time.
No way.
I was a production assistant for his video production company. So my job was to take in all the raw footage and log it. So I saw everything, let me just tell you. Everything from the skate tours, and he would bring buddies with him. So a lot of pros, and I was part of Huck Jam Diaries. If anyone remembers that TV show, my name's even in the credits. Yeah. So that was super fun, but we all knew skateboarding doesn't pay anything. And after I graduated college, I had all these student loan bills. So I had to get a big girl job. I went the corporate route and did production. I worked for an agency. I worked for a software company, and all these companies, like, I learned a ton and I kept moving up the corporate ladder, and it was very corporate. I had to dress up. They expected me to wear high heels, which I refused to. I told HR I had a bad back and legally they couldn't make me wear high heels. So, which is great. Actually I still have a bad back anyway, but yeah, and so then one of I reported directly to the CEO at my last corporate job, and he really inspired me to go back to school and get my master's degree. He's like, I can see you moving up. I'm going to involve you in all these different meetings. Just sit there and listen and learn, like stakeholder meetings, finance meetings, all the things to business and marketing that I didn't know, because I always did the fun part of marketing and the creative side. So yeah, my last 2, I was a marketing director, which was a lot of work, having a staff. I definitely was traumatized with that because it's a lot of people just coming in your office, and I had Kleenex box and candy. I was like a therapist half the time. And the events in the software industry were very boring. I have way too much personality for those types of trade shows. So I went back to school, grad school. I learned so much. I really enjoyed the school I went to. I really became friends with like my cohort and met other people kind of on the same level, same goals, became really good friends with my professors. And we had this one, he was the dean at the time. He's retired now, but he did a class on entrepreneurship. And I was like, oh, I'm going to skip this one. I'm so tired. Like, I'm not going to be an entrepreneur, like, forget it. And my friends were like, come on, let's just come, like, we'll all grab a beer afterwards, so I went and listened. And it just was an eye opener of like the entrepreneur life. So after I graduated, I did go on a bunch of corporate level job interviews. And they were so long and there's so much red tape. And it's like by the time I get the social media post approved, it's going to be out the window. It's like a month later. You have to dress up every day. You have to go in person, like comb my hair. And one of the job interviews I went on, they actually gave me a schedule. It was 4 hours long and I still didn't get the job. It was super frustrating. And at one point, I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to start my own business. I know living in San Marcos, California, it's like the North County part of San Diego. I was already involved in the chambers and communities and the school. After I graduated, I was on the board for the Alumni Association. And I'm like, there's so many small businesses around here that need social media, but they can't afford a full-time person. So I'm just going to go freelance. Because of all the skills I learned in grad school and because of my background in graphic design, website, I did everything on my own. I launched my business in 3 months. I got an accountant and learned how to do all that stuff. And I had a full roster of clients immediately.
Really?
After 1 year, or no, after 9 months, I was making the exact same income that I was at corporate, minus the benefits part. But like the base salary I was making, I mean, I wasn't sitting around on my butt waiting for people to come to me. I was out there working it. But everyone who knows me knows that I work it. Like I work my butt off. So my end goal was to only have running brands and race directors. So I started off with 2. And then, so I did have some clients in different industries to start things off, which was fine because I learned a lot. You know, you learn what to put into contracts. You just learn a lot of things when you first have business. And I would say after like a year and a half, it only took like a year and a half and then it was all running clients and race directors. And
That's awesome.
And I'm in year 9 now with the
Nice.
entrepreneur life. No
Now, what
staff,
is your
because again, I was
what?
traumatized with staff. One person show. If I don't have the bandwidth, I politely decline the project.
Well, now why staff? I mean, why not have somebody?
I don't want anyone. I don't want to be a babysitter. Oh, and then another thing. So I am a babysitter still. After I graduated, that school is Cal State San Marcos, where I went to grad school. They asked me to come back and teach social media marketing. They're like, we want someone fresh who's in the field. And I was like, whoa, I've never taught before. I didn't know I could do that. They're like, oh yeah, you have a master's. It's fine. So I learned how to teach. I had a mentor. I taught in person, and then I found out from teacher friends, oh, if you really want to make money teaching, you got to teach at community college. Miracosta College in Oceanside is the second largest paying school because of how they're funded by the community they're around. Saddleback in Orange County is number 1. And I was like, cool. They're like, but you can never get a job there because they're never hiring unless someone retires or dies because they're in. And I'm like, hold my beer. So I went and networked. Within a month, I had a job interview and I had the class like that because 2 people who worked out at my gym were heads up at the business department. I just didn't know it because we never talked about it.
That's
So,
awesome.
I mean, again, I work my butt off. Like this isn't just luck. Like I go out there and if I have a goal, I figure out a way to accomplish it. So yeah, I got a class right away. And another thing I liked about community colleges is they offer online classes. I'm like, okay, my end goal is to only teach online because I don't like going in person because there's a lot of rules about what you can and can't say. And I was always saying the wrong thing. I'm like, I'm going to get fired. I remember my first semester teaching, all my, marketing examples were breweries. And then I was like, wait, these are 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Why am I talking about beer? Okay, got to change that to coffee. You know, and then I sweat a lot. When public, dressed in a suit and stuff. Um, so then I already started teaching online at Miracosta, and then COVID hit, and everyone wanted me to teach. So I was extremely busy during COVID. After COVID was done, I quit working at Cal State San Marcos because I had a better gig at the other place. And then just a year ago, Saddleback Orange County College approached me. So now I have a class there. And I only teach part-time at these 2 colleges. So I just teach my online class and then I'm out. Sometimes I'll do special projects, like I've been hired to rewrite online classes just because of the experience I have. But it's nice because I don't have to go in person. I don't have to dress up. I don't have to be a part of all these meetings and committees because I'm just an associate part-time professor. So yeah.
And do you solely teach social media marketing?
So I teach a variety of classes. Every semester it's different. I teach personal selling, principles of marketing, social media marketing, and I just started teaching AI applications. So very basic AI.
I feel like that's something everybody needs to learn is AI.
I learn more from my students. Like I'm researching AI stuff all the time and then I give it to them and then they come back to me. I was like, whoo, yeah, there's a lot.
I kind of look at it like this, like with AI, like when I was coming up through, I'm I'm younger, not old. I may look
Funny.
old, but I'm actually not. But when I was coming up, computers were really starting to get into schools, right? I remember elementary school, you had the big box Macs that were like different colors and so like I grew up using computers, but my mom didn't, right? She didn't grow up using computers. So I'm always having to teach her stuff on how to use computers. And I think that's the same way as AI right now. Like all
Mhm.
this younger generation, they have all this AI and they're learning how to use it. And like, if we as middle-aged adults don't learn how to use it, by the time we're in our 50s, 60s, we're going to be so freaking far behind because AI
Yep.
is just going to take over. And
Yep.
I'm scared about that. So I really like try to use AI, not a lot, but still have my own independent thoughts, but use it as much as I possibly can just
Well,
to
it's
learn.
it's super interesting with what AI can do now. Like Chat GPT is like gone now, right?
Yeah, that's like bottom level. Like
Right.
that's what your
This
parents are
one
using.
Claude I've been messing with, like it will code for you.
Huh.
Then you can create agents. And I'm like talking to a guy and he created a whole business around AI with agents. He doesn't do anything. AI runs it for him. Created it and runs it for him. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, you got to know how to use it and just give it prompts and it'll build you whatever you want. And I'm like, so I've been playing with it and the websites it builds in like 10 seconds are
Mhm.
amazing.
It's crazy.
And, like graphic design people, this is going to start working, but they can use it too. And, but I think like you were saying, Justin, I started school, didn't have computers. Internet didn't come around until I was like a senior in high school. So,
Bobby's old.
then I didn't even start using the internet till I got into college. Then everyone's like, I was with older people and they're like, didn't even know how to use computers and all this stuff. But now there's this younger guy at my work and he talks about AI and we chat about AI all the time. And I'm just like, tell me more.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take over. That's for sure. So getting familiar with it is crazy. So that's awesome. Where did running come into this? Like, I know you said you wanted to be, you wanted to have exclusively running brands,
Mhm.
but where did running become so important in your life that you wanted to only market for running brands?
So it just became my biggest passion as soon as I got introduced to trail running and ultra running. I grew up doing team sports, basketball, like competitive travel ball, competitive swimming. Then I got into extreme sports, snowboarding, skateboarding, surfing. Growing up in Oceanside, like you just go to surf camp in the summer. That's just like,
That's a thing.
yeah.
I wouldn't
Uh,
know.
or junior guards. Junior guards is really big.
What is that?
Junior lifeguards. It's like boot
Okay,
camp
okay.
for kids. I was in such good shape when I was a little kid. Like parents would just send us off to the beach all day and we'd do like boot camp. And then we call it junior guards. You have to test, you have to make it into junior guards. Like they don't just take
Oh,
anyone. Yeah, you have to pass like tests. But since my brother and I did competitive swimming, we got in. I actually got in at a young age because I was such a good swimmer. And then I had an older brother who was there too. Yeah, so I got in extreme sports. And then when I was 19, I broke my back snowboarding and I was almost paralyzed. And there was that whole recovery process, just like during that time, like I think cell phones, text messaging had just started, but you got charged per text message. And
yeah, I
your friends
remember
are only
that.
going to come and visit you so many times. And then they're like, bored. So a little bit of depression there. My parents tried really hard and like would get me out of the house all the time. And I was in a body brace for 6 months, but after 3 months, I was able to start pool therapy. So luckily, it was a quick recovery. I still lived at home, so I was on my parents' insurance. So thank goodness for all of that. Uh, and then my dad slowly had me start running with him as like recovery. My dad was a track football guy. So I would just go with my dad a few times a week and the dog, and we had this route, and then it got harder and harder and longer road. Then I kind of, did some road races. I did a road marathon that was absolutely terrible. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not meant for this distance. I didn't know you could just stop when you got hurt. You could just like DNF. I didn't know what that was. I thought you had to like finish. And I really injured myself and then I couldn't run for 6 months. So a lot of things learned. And then I don't know if you guys remember like when the whole outdoor boot camp phase came out. So I did one of those and I was doing this outdoor boot camp and you met at the park and you did it outside and it was like a veteran who put it on. And then one day of the week they'd go out on the trails next to the park. And I was like, whoa, people run like out here. And I'm in my little Nike Flies, like slipping and sliding. I'm like, what are all these backpacks everyone's wearing, you know? So that's how I got introduced to trail running. And one of my boot camp instructors was Nicodemus De La Rosa. We all know who Nick is. He just happened to be a boot camp instructor because he's from San Diego. And I didn't know what ultra running was. I didn't know it was a big deal. I didn't know he was the youngest person to finish Badwater and finish the Barkley marathons. I had no idea who he was. And his wife, Jade, actually, we all kind of met at the same time. So we all would run together. And he's like, hey, Izzy, I'm going to it was Iz back then. Then it became Izzy later. It was Iz back then. He's like, hey, I'm going to start coaching athletes. Like, do you want to be one of my first athletes and like try a trail race? I was like, sure. Okay. So I was one of his first athletes he coached and I did some trail races with him and he took me all these different trails. So I pretty much learned everything from him. Like, so now whenever I do anything, I always text him. I'm like, this is all your fault. Oh, and then Jade got really fast and I was just like back here, you know, she's awesome. So yeah, I did my first ultra in San Diego, the Lake Hodges 50K, and I only knew 3 other people doing it and they were all guys from my boot camp. Nick prepared me well. I had an amazing race. I actually ran with 2 handhelds. Like, you know, he taught me everything, sodium, hydration, food, like he knew the course, like I was in the best experience. But what I noticed was that there weren't any run clubs around there. There was only one and they're still around, Surf. They're called Surf San Diego Ultra Running Friends and they're amazing, but they only ran once a week out in the mountains. So I was like, well, that's cool if you have the time to drive an hour and a half there, run and come. Like who has time for all that on a Saturday, every Saturday? So me and a few of my friends, we started Ultra Buds Run Club. So ultras and then buds friends. So we started with one weekly group run and it's still going strong. It's been 11 years now. Now there's a ton of run clubs in San Diego. There's like over 20, but the main ones, there's 4 main run clubs in San Diego and we're all like best friends. We don't believe in like, hey, go to their club. No, you can't. You come to mine club. Like, we think everyone should be fun. We call it one love, one trail love. And we're not in competition with each other. We have collab runs all the time. 4th of July, Thanksgiving, we invite everyone to come. Like, don't pick and choose a run club. Let's all get together and have fun, you know? So we're really big on that. And now we have 4 chapters nationwide. So as people have moved from San Diego, they've started their own Ultra Buds chapters. So we have one in North Carolina, West Texas, Idaho, and Spokane, Washington. Okay, so that's 5. We now have 5 clubs nationwide.
Why did I think Ultra Buds was like running in beer? I don't know why I thought buds.
I mean, running, yeah.
I was
people
thinking
come up
running
with a
in
lot of
weed.
things.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how the name came around. We were all talking about names, and these 3 little kids were walking by, and they had just smoked some weed, and we're like, buds. That's how the name came about. But yeah, people are like earbuds, you know? So yeah, my passion just grew with that. And then being a run leader, just sharing the love of the trail, getting people introduced to movement. My mom was the walking leader for many years and she had her whole walking crew. So we had the run crew and then we had the walk crew and my mom's 73 years old now. So being able to see people in their 60s, 70s and 80s going out there, they don't have to be fast. And yeah, so it's just inspired me to do more. I coached for a while, but I don't have time for that. I think I only was a run coach for like 4 or 5 years.
That's run groups are such a hot topic pretty much every single time because it's, you know, you have these groups and it's like, you know, all paces are welcome, but we all know that the vast majority of time that's not the case. All paces are welcome if you can stay with our 7-8 minute pace up the mountains.
Yeah.
And no, that's not. So I know a lot of people are discouraged to go to run groups because they're faced with being out there by themselves, not knowing where to go. How does your group differ from the vast majority of groups out there?
So it's really hard because with San Diego, we're able to do kind of a new trail every Saturday because we have way more run leaders to assist. So like usually there's one in the front and one in the back. We tell people if it's something confusing, we'll share a route, or if it's like a training run for a race, we'll mark it. That doesn't happen that often though. We usually try to choose a route that's more of an out and back. So we tell people they can pick their mileage. Like we're going to start together. We may not finish together. We don't claim to be a no drop just because we don't have enough help. Like if I had 10 run leaders, absolutely we could do no drop. But, we want to be fair to the fast people too, or like the faster. So we usually have 2 leaders and then out and back. So, hey, if you're only doing an hour and then you're going to the gym or you're injured or you're just new starting out, you can turn around sooner. And then in different chapters, it's kind of different. I feel like the Spokane chapter, they do different routes and they'll post the route ahead of time. The Idaho and North Carolina chapter, it's the same one weekly group run. So it's the same 45-minute route. So that's a lot easier to do. And then it's just safety. If it's in the dark, we'll stick with someone. Hey, you're new. It's in the dark. I'll stick with you and I can do my workout later. And that's part of being a run leader. You're going to sacrifice your run. This is also why I personally don't host Saturday runs, long runs, because I need to do those on my own. But weekday runs, I don't mind staying with someone. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel like a group run is just that, a group run. It's not your workout. And I feel like a lot of people confuse those two when it comes to group runs. Don't get me wrong, I love group runs because I'm a social butterfly and I get energy from other people. But I also hate when I go to a group run and everybody's just flying and I'm out there by myself because it's like that's not fun to me. I could have done this run at another place, but I came to be with the group, and so I do appreciate group runs that are no drop for that case, it's like, because I know that there's a lot of people that are really subconscious about going to a group run because they're not able to keep up with, a 10, 12-minute mile, maybe they're a 14, 15 on the trail. And so, but I've always said that when you're in a group run, the leader leads from the rear. And so most people know where the route is or know how to do the route. And then the leader's in the back.
Sweeper.
Just making sure that everybody is finding their way. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Maybe I'll start
That's
an
why
ultra
it's
buzz.
easier when you have that's why it's easier when you have multiple leaders, because there might be some fast people who are like, hey, I want to be able to do my 15 miles, but I'm on a time crunch. I can't sit here with someone who's doing
Yeah.
a hiker. So it's like, it's really hard. Like I get both sides of it.
No, and I get that. And that's why, hey, talk to us at the beginning and then we'll see you
Absolutely.
next week or something. And then, but I think as the leader, like if you're going out to lead it, you're not there to do your workout. You're there to make sure that everybody has a good time and a good experience.
Yep. And wants to come back and feel safe, especially with women.
Yeah, 100%.
We even have like a little private group chat just for and I don't even participate in this, but they have a private group chat for some of the ladies who want to run at 5 a.m. because they're like, hey, I need to be back earlier because I need to get the kids to school. I can't go out there by myself. And we only let women in that private chat so that they can, so that they can figure out their own runs just with them.
Yeah, well, that works. I like that. Talk to us a little bit about what you got going on next week.
First of all, I'm going to call out Kevin Goldberg, the People's Runner, because he's the one who got me to sign up for this race in the first place. So, and then he dropped from it and he's not even running it anymore. I did forgive him because he had a good excuse, but still. Okay, so we all know Cocodona 250 and how they've added on a new course almost every year. This year they have their new Bradshaw Brute 100, and it's pretty much more or less the first 100 miles of the Cocodona 250, which is the hardest part of the course. However, it deviates from the course about 4 times and does even harder remote miles. So for example, I think at mile like 3 or 2.5, already going to deviate and add an extra 5-mile loop, crosses the river twice. And so our first aid station is at 12.2 miles. However, we start an hour after the Coco runners, but we have the same cutoff times as them. So do that math.
Yeah.
Also, this category has 2,100 feet of climbing. So think Hard Rock qualifier. You're not allowed.
I was going to say 2,100. That's not that bad. It's like Tunnel Hill.
Flat.
What are you talking about? Like 10,000 feet.
It is 11,000.
You're talking about cutoffs. Like, are you running downhill or 2,100?
Oh,
Get out of here.
It just goes like this.
Yeah,
There's no downhill in the Bradshaw Brute.
Yeah.
Also, to make it harder, you're not allowed any crew or pacers.
Ooh.
No crew, no pacers, and 3 drop bags.
Which is
like
just
nothing.
piqued Robbie's interest there.
3 drop bags. Like you have to be really strategic. So pretty much a lot of emergency what if stuff, I'm just going to carry with me the whole time. Yeah.
So what's the deal with the no crew, no pacers? Because you're following the same route as Cocodona and they have
to make it harder for you.
Tons of crew and pacers.
Make it hard. Yep. It's
Okay.
make it a lot more challenging. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And 3
'Cause
drop
why
bags.
not?
So I will be at an aid station where everyone else has a drop bag except me.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
But their aid stations are just
I was gonna say, they
stand
got the
up. Like,
cheeseburger
you're
aid
gonna have so
stations.
much food and stuff at
And
those
I'm
aid
gonna know
stations.
people at aid stations, which, you know, I'll look forward to seeing them. You know, I told them already, if I'm crying, just slap me in the face and say, "Get back out there."
Don't get mad when you get slapped. What is the overall cutoff?
38 hours.
Okay, 38. All right.
Yeah.
And it's
And
21,000 feet of climb. Okay, yeah. Or 2,100, whatever however you wanna look at it.
and let's not forget the first 32 miles
Yeah.
is not a walk in the park because I went and
No.
did the training run 3 4 weeks ago. I'm
It's like
I
10 or
have to do this
11,000.
training run. Yeah, it was almost 11,000 on my watch. I had so many pity parties and sat on so many rocks. Like, and then at the end of the training run, I told the race director that I was withdrawing from the race. I was fine the next day. It was fine. But it was that hard. And then the next day, you know,
Can
I'm
you
thinking,
imagine
I'm
running
like,
Speed Goat and then you have 220 miles to go after Speed Goat? That's essentially what it is.
yeah,
I mean, once you get to that mile 36 aid station, you're like 12,000 feet in.
yep. That's what people keep telling me. Apparently, the second half won't be as hard, but I call shenanigans.
Yeah.
Lies.
She's got
So-
another, what, 10,000 feet. How many miles is it? Is it 125?
No, it's
Wow.
just 100.
100, okay. So,
Yeah, because they have the Sedona 125,
okay.
which gives you like 18 days to finish.
Yeah, so it'll be a little tricky. And they wouldn't let, like, not just anyone can sign up for this race. You had to, like, qualify because they didn't want some newbie out there because it's so remote for safety reasons. But since I've ran a 200 and remote 200s, mountain ones before, I got in fine.
What 200s have you run?
Just one, 240.
Hmm.
That was fun. Yeah.
Was it?
This sounds like the, my opinion, the worst one of all of them.
I just
Sounds
call it
horrible.
a roller coaster. You know, there's good
What was
times and bad times. It's a roller coaster. Everything I thought that was going to happen to me did not happen to me. The one thing I didn't think would happen to me happened to me immediately, and I got blisters on my feet. And I'd never had my feet cut before, and or taped. And so I learned a lot about feet. And if you look at pictures of my feet, you'll be like, no, I would have stopped. But I didn't. I kept going on those feet 240 miles. I mean, you know, I think it started around mile 70, which is really early. Yeah.
The only
But
thing about that one, Robbie, I think is it's not blazing hot. It's like what, late October?
yeah,
Yeah.
when I did it,
Still,
we
yeah.
started in the morning. Like, I mean, it was hot, but I wouldn't say blazing. They did run out of water at the water station, the drop, but I was warned from friends.
Prize.
They're like, I guarantee there won't be water there. Like, I'm like, okay. So I filled up extra, and sure enough, I got there and there was no water. I was like, thank goodness I had extra.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that doesn't seem surprised to me, but anyway.
Yeah, I did cry at once, the top of Shea Mountain. I was just so depleted. I'm not someone who really cries, and I was so depleted. And my pacers, there was a clump of us, and we call it trauma bonding. That's where I became good friends with Callie Vinson. We trauma bonded together, and we'll never forget. And my pacer helped both of us get through that. There's
That's
three of us
awesome.
runners and my pacer. And she helped us get through that. I got to the top and my husband was there and he gave me a hug and I just started bawling. And he's like, oh shit, because he knows I never cry. And then my other friend was there who was pacing me. He had ran the race before. And he's like, Isabella, guess what? There's a real toilet here. I was like, what? And I was like, all happy again. So I didn't have to squat. It wasn't a porta potty. It was like yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome. Switching back to running and business, what are your goals for running? And then what are your goals for your business?
For running, it's longevity now. I've had a really change of seasons with the female body. I just turned 45, so ladies know exactly what I'm talking about. The last 2 months have been extremely difficult. This last training block. I mean, training for a 100-miler is not easy, but I've done it before and I know what it feels like, and this is completely different. I've been going through some SI joint back issues for about a year and a half now. So I think I might have that finally taken care of. I've done everything to take care of this. So longevity for me, like I'm okay with not being that pace again. You know, my pace back in the day. If this is my last 100-miler and I have to go back down to 100 Ks or 50 milers or 50 Ks, I'm totally okay with that. Like, I've accepted that as long as I can keep going and keep my run club going to, like, motivate and still inspire others. And just to show others around my age, 40s and 50s, like, you can still go out there and do hard things. You're not gonna be as fast, you're gonna be in the back of the pack, but that's okay. Like, it's still beautiful. I mean, you get to go. I just ran in Sedona last weekend and it was gorgeous. And yeah, I was more toward the back and my whole body hurt, but I was like, this is still beautiful. And after my snowboarding accident, like things could have gone another direction easily. So I'm always just grateful and thankful when I'm still able to move and run. Also, running doesn't define me. I have a lot of other hobbies too. So when I am injured, I'm not like that type of person who just gets like totally upset and depressed. Like, I'll go mountain bike or swim, or I can come up with a lot of activities for you to do.
I have a bike. It like hangs up all the time, but yeah, I have one.
I mean, I go to the theater with my mom. I got for Christmas a Pop-Tart puzzle. Like, I do a lot of things. Yeah. I went horseback riding a few weeks ago for my birthday.
Nice. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to get into gravel racing when I get back to the lower 48. I think that seems,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have like these monstrosity of thighs, and I think that they would just be, I mean, they would just be a powerhouse of, because I ride my bike like, I do like one 40-mile bike ride once a year, and that's the extent of
That's
what
a
I do
lot.
on a bike. I know, I just get on the bike and like, you know what, I'm just going to go ride 20, 30, 40 miles, and then we'll call it a day. But I feel like if I trained on a bike, like I could be really good at cycling. I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure the lingo.
Riding. I think it's called riding. Gotta be cool.
Yeah, I'm not a mountain biker. I owned a mountain bike at one point, and we have about it's a 6-mile single track, and it's mostly, I've run out there too, but it's maintained by the biking club, and they, it's a mountain bike course basically. It has all the little curbs and
Mhm.
little things, but they had a little dip, and I didn't see the dip because I was looking at something else, and I was going pretty fast. I hit the dip, and I didn't know what to do when all my tires were off the ground. So I like grabbed the handlebars and at the same time grabbed the brakes and leaned forward, and my front tire hit the ground, brakes locked, and I flipped over, and my Garmin computer, it hit so hard. You know how your Garmin computer sits on your handlebar and it has that little metal piece that holds it there? It snapped that metal piece, and I heard my Garmin beeping, and I was like, no, it's calling like emergency service or something, because it
To
does
crash.
that. And so I go and pick it up, and it said, nice jump, 10 feet. I was like, that's it. I hit so hard that I cracked my helmet. That's how
Jeez.
hard I hit. And so the next day I listed that bike on Facebook Marketplace. I was like, this is
It's
not me.
dangerous. That's why I'm like white knuckled the whole time.
This is not me. I
Yeah.
will gravel bike ride all day long. I can handle traffic.
I've never gravel biked. Bikes are expensive. I can only own one.
Yes, I only own one. And like I said, I ride it once a year, and it I put air in it once a year, and that's the extent of it. But
I just learned, I went to a maintenance clinic and I learned that you're supposed to clean your chain after every ride.
yeah,
I've
who knows?
never
I mean,
cleaned
I
my
do. Yeah, I clean it once a year.
Luckily, my
He gets cleaned
husband,
on that
who's been
ride.
cleaning it for me this whole time because I've never cleaned it. He's like,
My
"Don't
bike
get
has
it."
seen more maintenance in a shop than it's seen on the road. Because I always take it in once a year, like,
For the
before
tune-up?
the season starts, like, hey, do a tune up on it. And the guy's like, this bike is fine. What do you, I mean, he's like, I'll take your money, but
And then I started swimming again about when I hurt my back. I was like, "Oh, maybe I should start swimming again." It'd been 24 years since I'd been in a pool, like, laps, and it was like muscle memory. Like, before you knew it, I did like 3 miles in the pool. And my friends are all
jeez,
like, "Do an Ironman." I'm like, "Nope. Nope.
it sounds terrible.
Absolutely not.
You have to like
Triathlon.
ride. You have to like ride.
I am not
Yeah.
wearing that outfit. Like, where do I poop? There's no bushes. Like,
Oh, you just pee on the bike.
You just pee on the bike, yeah. And you pee in your wetsuit.
I have my
Yeah,
limits.
we know this. We've interviewed
Well,
someone.
the water is not bad. I could do the water. So then my friends were telling me
Yeah,
about
but
the
you're swimming
mirror.
in everyone else's pee.
Well, they grew up surfing. That's fine.
No, this chick just said she just like, if she's in behind people, she just gets, or in front of them, she just gets behind them and then pees and then gets back up in front of them.
That's still, yeah.
I guess the tires like kick it up, or I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway,
What was she saying? She had to hold her leg a certain way so it didn't spray everyone. And you have to watch out from people in front of you spraying you.
Yeah, I'm definitely
cycling
not.
is wild.
It was
I'm
great.
good.
We were laughing so hard. Oh my gosh.
I'm good.
We didn't even know that they. Yeah.
I had no
Yeah.
clue. I was like, all right, well, yeah, that's a thing. It's funny. Speaking of which, what's something that's like super embarrassing that's happened to you? Like a funny, embarrassing story. I know as long as you've been running, there's got to be something.
I mean, I've never pooped my pants. I've come close. I'd pee on my
Really?
shoes a lot. That's not really embarrassing though.
We all do that.
I know.
That's
I have aim and
initiation.
I do that.
In like the live stream before and said dumb stuff. I can't remember. No, I can't remember anything specific, but it's definitely dumb.
Hmm. All right.
I don't know. Maybe I may have to think on that one.
Yeah. Well, while you think on that, we're going to ask you some questions that you already know the answers to. See, so it'll be easy. What shoes are you running in?
Topo.
Topo.
Yep.
Why Topo? I tried them when they first came out and I didn't like them, but I heard a lot of people are going
Yeah,
back to them and they really like them.
So at the Moab 240, one of the issues, possible issues, because my coach and I like went over everything, like why did this happen to my feet? And my coach, at the time was Jeff Browning, and I don't know if you know Jeff, but he's very specific and scientific. And so we did like figure out that it was my sodium hydration ratio. I went and got a sodium test afterwards, and I have Meniere's disease, so I have to be really careful with my sodium. I'm on the lower side because it could give me vertigo. But I wasn't taking enough sodium at night when it's cooler.
Was cool,
Like
yeah.
you like, oh yeah, it's hot, gotta take sodium. But at night I was like, nope. And so that's why my feet swelled because I was drinking so much water. So if it would have just been one night, I probably would have been fine. But the fact that it was, 4.5 days, the feet blew up. And I was wearing Brooks Cascadias, which I'd worn for years, but they changed the shoes every year and they were just getting heavier and heavier and a big it felt like a high heel. So I remember I was at so then Jeff had me try ultras, the zero drop, and I did it correctly where you take your time and you slowly do it, switch to the zero drop, and they were feeling pretty good. And then I went and ran Gorge Waterfalls, which is very slippery and rocky terrain. And I was just like, everything hurt, my feet hurt. And Zach Marion was there and he's like, oh my gosh, you got to try Topo. He's like, they're 4mm. Like, I'll tell you the person to hit up and get you a pair, blah, blah, blah. So he connected me with Topo and I tried my first pair and I was like hooked. They felt amazing. And then I was able to try a few different types of styles. And so I think I've been wearing those for 4 years now. 4 years now. And I like them because they're not zero drop, but they're still super wide.
Oh, I didn't know they were. I thought they were zero drop. They're not zero drop.
No,
I think they
Topo
have
size
a
6.
zero drop. They do have a zero drop, I think.
They might have one.
But I
and
know
then-
they're very low drop.
And then Ultra came out with a 4mm, I think a year ago. I haven't tried
Wild.
them.
The wild.
So yeah, I mean, I've tried the Mounted Coast shoes. They sent me a few pairs and I felt like their road shoe was a little too heavy for me. It was also the first version, so I'm sure things have changed. I did like the trail shoe, but I just like the Topo a little bit better and it works for me.
Yeah. You gotta stick with
Which model
works.
is it?
So originally my plan was to wear the Mountain Race, the Ultra
Mountain
Venture
Racer?
4, the Ultra
Okay.
Venture 4, the white one, because I was like, ooh, white in the desert, and then switch to the Vistas. But I was just looking at my shoe today to pack them, and there's nothing on them because I wore them for that training run, and those rocks must have just tore it up. I'm like, there's going to be a hole in this shoe. So I'm just going to wear the Vista, and then I have an old pair of Mountain Racers, or Ultra Venture, excuse me, that I'll put in my drop bag in case I want to switch. And then I have another pair of Vistas that's a half size bigger that I'll have in my last drop bag in case my feet swell. There's a bigger shoe.
When your feet squell.
If because we haven't had that was the only one time that I've had that problem.
Really?
Yeah, I've never had that problem again.
I just wear a half size in every single shoe that I own, and that's what I do.
I mean,
I've never lost a toenail. I very rarely get blisters. But it's
so
just
this
me.
would be one full size bigger than.
Oh,
for you.
okay, one full size.
Yeah.
Got you. What? I think I know the answer to this, but what pack?
I'm going to start with the Traverse because it just holds so much stuff. But then I'm going to switch to the Zygos pack at Crown King because I won't
Okay.
need to carry all that much stuff after that. 6 liters of water. The Zygos just fits the female frame. I feel like my female frame way snugger. I do notice with the Traverse, it is a little bit bigger in the shoulder and armpit because I think it's made more for male shoulders. And all their packs are unisex. So it just kind of, everyone's different how they are. So
Yeah, my athlete mentioned that to me. She said she's a tiny, extra small, and she's like, I can't tighten this thing up anymore. She's running Cocodona, and so it's
Okay.
like, she was like, I was like, you have to get this pack because this is the pack that literally everyone's wearing, and it's going to carry your 5 liters of water that you need for that first 36 or
6 for me.
32. Yeah. Oh, you're carrying 6. Okay.
Well, I got 500 extra miles.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But anyways, yeah, she mentioned that same thing. that she just can't get it tight enough. So I'm like, tape your back. I mean, I don't know. She's tried the lube, so we tried tape, and she seems to work. She's like, I'm chafing a lot of my back, and I'm like, that sucks.
Where is she? So here's something I noticed with the females, and I was having this problem. I was chafing a lot where my sports bra on the back line is, and I noticed salt would build up there.
I think
So
it's in the lower part where the pack ends is where she's chafing because it's moving.
maybe the salt is hanging out there. So I
Yeah,
will put a
could.
piece of tape, not KT tape, the other one, Lyco tape,
Yeah,
and then
Lyco.
I also clean that area with a bare butt wipe. When I clean every time I clean my
I see what
feet,
you
I
did there.
clean the bra line too.
Oh, that's funny. Quick little pitch there, if you caught that. No, yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, we're working through it anyway. So,
But that Zygos pack, the first half of the race, I'm also power hiking. Like, that Traverse works amazing. But the Zygos pack, if I'm actually running, which hopefully I'll be doing a lot more running the second half of the race. I don't know what the course looks like, but hopefully, then I'll want that more snugger Zygos.
yeah, for sure. For sure. What are you going to put in it with nutrition?
So I try to do as much real food as possible. I do a little bit of the high carb scratch drink, but I can only do so much of that. I feel like it gets in my teeth a lot. And I do carry Wispies, but I can only do so much of that. So that works for the first day in the heat. I like the scratch drink. There's certain flavors of Tailwind I like, which will be on course. And then they will have on course the Precision Chews and Never Second gels, which both I've tested and work fine with me. So I'll have some of those. But some of the food I like to carry is stuff that's more on the moisture side, especially in that training run. I'm so glad I had options because I could not eat. My mouth was just so dry. I couldn't eat my normal like bars, or I couldn't even eat my bagel. I had a whole bagel just hanging out there because it's just so dry. But I did this like scratch chews. I did a lot of dried fruit. And then I do have paydays are good for me because there's no chocolate in it. They won't melt. I do carry a little bit of like nerd clusters, but that's more of a pick me up just to like make me feel better. I don't really count that as like actual fuel and stuff. But Bobo bars are good, fig bars just because they're on the moisture side. And then hopefully after the heat part, I'll be able to actually eat aid station food because they have the best food at Cocodona.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
Salty stuff is pickles and olives. The olives come
Olives.
now. They're so salty and it changes the whole like, oh, I've been eating so much sugar. My coach for this race is Alyssa Clark. After I started female issues, I'm like, Jeff, don't take this the wrong way, but I need a female coach now. There's just certain things I can't talk to you about anymore. Already, and he's like, oh gosh, I totally understand. Like him and I are good friends, and Alyssa and I are really good friends too. So I'm like, Alyssa, I need to talk to you about other things now.
Yeah.
So she had reminded me because I was telling her, I'm like, gosh, what do I eat? Like when it's so hot and my mouth is dry. So she's like, you got to make sure you have salty stuff. So pickles, olives, even though it's not necessarily a lot of calories, at least it'll change the palate from
Yeah,
sugar to.
for sure.
And then I do carry the Wispies to get that sugar out.
Garrett, you have to.
If I drink something sugary, I take a sip of water just to rinse out my mouth and spit it out. So all these little things so I don't get like mouth blisters.
Yeah. The thing that really works for me to like kind of cleanse my palate is a bubbly, like a sparkling water.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yes.
That really, like, if I have an aid station where I'm gonna have crew, I just have them bring me a sparkling water, and I drink sparkling water at the aid stations. Like,
if you have
it
crew.
really kind of cleanses the palate, and it kind of
Must be
yeah.
nice to have crew.
Good
Yeah.
stuff, crew.
I've ran 100 but no crew pacers before, so and didn't have drop bags. You aren't allowed drop bags, so yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll one up you there, and it was in the dead of winter. So what else you got? What else you got? All right, last question. You have 1,000 jelly
Dollars?
beans. Each jelly bean that you eat is worth $5,000. There is one death jelly bean. If you eat it, you're going to die immediately. How many jelly beans do you eat?
Die immediately?
You die if you eat that one jelly bean. You don't know where it's at. It's one of 1,000 chance.
I
One
probably
of
won't eat any.
999,000.
Yeah, I don't need the jelly beans. I'm fine.
You're not going to eat any of them? What was the dude last week? He said he's like, I mean, at least 25%.
Yeah.
I don't need that bad.
He's like, I'm broke. I need money. That's funny.
There was something,
Oh.
live your life or something too. It was like, You got one life to live or something.
Yeah, you only got one life. I don't know. I'm going for some jelly beans. I'm
Yeah,
going
me
for
too.
them. I'm just going to grab a handful and just take a risk.
I hope you have life insurance.
Yeah, well, that's what I fueled my run on today. I ate jelly beans and Peeps. Speaking of which, Robbie, cotton
Peeps.
candy Peeps.
Ooh, those
They're
ones are
really
pretty
good. Yeah, cotton candy Peeps. And a whole oh my gosh, I had so many jelly beans. I was just like, "Ugh, I can't eat any more jelly beans.
They weren't the sports beans, were they?
I think they were just, no, they weren't. They weren't, definitely were not sports beans.
Can't even chew those things.
Those things are awful. How are they still in business? Those are terrible.
Are they still in business?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I still see
Maybe.
them. Yeah,
I see them.
Cycle events, probably.
They're up there with like Goo and stuff like that. So Hammer is the Long John Silvers of the running community.
Oh my. How are they still around?
I have no idea.
I think they're still big in the cycling world, but
Oh,
that's a
okay.
good question.
Yeah. I think they just continuously try, but like if you don't have a porta potty within 5 miles,
They're-
like
they're both-
yeah, or bare butt wipes.
You need stock and bare butt wipes.
I feel like I
We will
own
take
stock
that.
as many
We
as
can
I
buy
have.
stock. Would you like to be an investor? How much you got?
Is he already taking investors, huh? For
I don't
bare butt? She's just trying to pitch. She's like, hey, I got you some more money.
Yeah,
I'll get you some
I
more
don't think
money.
anyone will say no to that.
If you forget, we had Sam Pate on the podcast like a long time ago with Bare Butt Wipes.
Yeah,
and
it
that
was right when
company
he
is
first came
really,
out.
yeah, I think it was like the OG. Like he wasn't even like, I think they had just like developed their brand at that point. So we were from
I
the
gotta go back
ground
and
up. We
listen.
were the ground people.
Nice.
We were doing the work. Well, Izzy, where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you? I know you're busy and you have no other openings for brands, but if somebody had
At this moment.
if somebody had a high inclusive brand and they're like, I'm paying big bucks, you might could find some wiggle room there. But if somebody wanted to reach out to you, wanted to ask a question or whatever it may be, where can they find you?
Instagram is the best way to communicate with me. Ultra_IzzyB. You can put it in the show notes.
It'll be there.
Yeah. I talk a lot about poop. I post a lot about my pit bulls. I have 2 rescued pit bulls and they're spoiled as spoiled can be and they don't listen and they're naughty and they're cuties. They're my babies, my children. I travel a lot, so I get to go do fun things all the time. I'm not necessarily racing, but sometimes I call myself a professional pacer or I'm just doing media. So that's the other thing with brands. A lot of the brands, some of the brands I work with are like on monthly retainers. So there's, they're throughout the whole year. And some of the brands I work with are just project based. Like, hey, we need you to do this project with us. Like for example, Ultra Sign Up. I'm working Western States with them in June. So because I'm freelance marketer, which is very nice. I'm needed a lot, which is great. But they're like, oh, we just need you to do this real quick. Like, who can do this for us? Oh, Izzy. We just hire her for like a month. Or like, we'll just hire her for this project. So, another exciting project. I am allowed to talk about this because it's public now. I don't know if you saw, but Cocodona is going to have a new project presented by Ultra called Cocodona Confessionals. And they're going to have confessionals set up at 4 points along the course, kind of like the MTV style, those little confession boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And they will have question prompts for runners and they'll have separate question prompts for crew and pacers. So that I will be working on that project, doing a lot of the video editing. So we just released a teaser and there's going to be another teaser this coming week. And then look for those on the live stream throughout the whole race. Cocodona.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll just be listening the whole time he's running a 220.
Hopefully if I have service, I'll just be out there, be like, suffering with everyone else, except I'm in my own little different part of the desert in Colorado.
So yeah, I'll be staying after the race for a couple days and work on site, and then I'll fly home and work the rest of the race remote. And okay, so I gave Kevin a hard time because he had me sign up for this race. We crewed and paced our friend Gabe at Western States last year, so I spent a very close 48 hours with Kevin. And by the end of the 48 hours, I was signing up for Bradshaw Brute because he's like, oh, there's only 3 females signed up. You could do it. You could do it. I was like, ooh, that's so cool. So I signed up. I think I was the 4th female to sign up. There's only 11 females running it, only 44 runners total.
Wow.
Signed up for Bradshaw Brute. So, yeah. And then he bailed on me, but for a good reason, because Distance to Empty, his podcast, is putting on the Mingus Basketball Association. So at Mingus, there's the basketball hoop. that he's always tried to get people to play with him. So he's created like a thing there, like a shooting contest. So I will be going to that after my race and shooting 3 baskets and hopefully beat some pros.
Perfect. Well, Izzy, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you having the time, because I know you're busy, coming on and
Oh yeah, I'm packing
explaining us
tonight.
what marketing and running looks like together.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, good luck on your race next week.
Thank
I'll
you.
be watching the live stream, and hopefully I'll see you. 'Cause that'd be
Drop a
exciting.
pancake in there.
I
Cheer me
will.
on in the group chat, the live stream chat. That's the closest thing to a Pop-Tart, pancakes.
I will. Well, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a like, leave us a review. We need as many reviews as we can. We are just a tiny little podcast, and we would like to be a little bit bigger than tiny. So I don't know what that is, but leave us a like, leave us a review, leave us a comment, drop us a subscribe on YouTube. And as always, we will see you on the trails.